Hello everybody, welcome back to another new and noteworthy mod review. Today we're going to take a look at the Grimme Pack. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jacob Obermeyer and Kevin Boyce. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Grimme Pack is back. You're going to be able to find it over the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this mod is available for all platforms. So those of you that played Farm Sim 19 will know that the Grimme Pack was a paid DLC by a third-party modder, Pepe978. It is back as a free mod pack in FS22. And what does this mod include? This mod includes 15 tools for the purpose of planting, caring for, harvesting, and processing potatoes, as well as a massive potato storage haul. Now, what makes this pack rather interesting is it brings potatoes to the common man. In the game, the potato harvester is insanely expensive. The self-propelled potato harvester. The trailed potato harvester isn't all that bad, but it's still kind of darn expensive. Let's take a look at those in the shop. So if we go to vehicles and potato technology, I mean, come on, 600 grand and you can start harvesting potatoes, right? I mean, that is a serious investment. If we come down here to our trailed potato harvesters, $200,000 to get started cheap with the trailed potato harvester. $215,000 to get started with the Ropa trailed potato harvester, and you need to use the topper for $10,000 on top of that to top the potatoes. $129,000 or $46,000 if you want to plant potatoes. Well, welcome and to the Grimme Pack, where we now can afford these things for the common man. Let's take a look at them here in the mods and DLC section. So we have, in this pack, we have 3 different weeders. We have a 1.5 meter, $7,000 weeder. We can add a roller to this particular configuration. Add $720 to it. Only requires 54 horsepower. We can get a 2.5 meter weeder. Requires 74 horsepower. Again, has the ability to add a roller to it or not. We can get a 6 meter weeder, 140 horsepower at $19,000. Then we move into planting technology. We have a small GL32E potato planter, 1.5 meter working width, and it is just 60 horsepower to operate. Let me get that with no configuration options other than license plate. We can go with the GL32F. This one will accept potatoes and fertilizer, $18,800. Again, 60 horsepower to operate. We move up into the potato harvesters. These are trailed potato diggers. So we have the GH2 Eco, 68 horsepower to operate, $11,900. That is it. 1.5 meter working width. It's not the widest working width, but what this will do is it will dig the potatoes up and deposit them on top of the ground as a windrow, basically. We have the WH200S, $12,500. This is basically the same as the Eco, except it has the option of dropping the potatoes either to the left or the right. We have the WR200CWD. This one is 1.5 meter working width, 150 horsepower, and once again, we'll drop the potatoes in a windrow. It's a little bit bigger. And we need to start talking about how do we collect the potatoes off the windrows, off the ground, once we dig them up. We have the SE8555, $88,000, and this will pick up the potatoes and deposit them in this hopper, which we can then later put into a trailer. We can get it with or without a kind of canopy, because in theory, when you are operating this, you would have people standing here on this platform, kind of sorting your potatoes as they are coming up the conveyor belt. Now that you have collected potatoes off the field, you're going to want to use something like the multi-trailer 190 or 350 in order to transport your potatoes. $32,600 for 19,000 liters capacity on the 190 and $40,500 for the 35,000 liter capacity on the 350. Now this is designed for potato transport in mind because it has slanted walls on the inside of the trailer and then has a walking floor or a conveyor belt. Basically bring the belts out the back and then deposit them onto the ground or into a conveyor belt. Now, as far as this goes, both trailers are the same. We have the choice of Trelleborg standard or wide tires, Michelin standard or wide tires, Trelleborg, sorry, we're back to that, Grimmie red or Grimmie white. Then we can put a cover on it, yes or no. And of course, we can add license plates. Now, once we have transported our potatoes, what are we going to do with them? Well, we have the ability to sort them or basically crate them with a GBF. This is $6,500, and we can enter this, unfold it, and we will then deposit potatoes on the top of the conveyor belt, and then it will make potato crates on either side and allow us to basically crate our potatoes. We can buy a empty crate right here, or we can have it create pallets. We then have the conveyor loader, so we can position this in front of the boxing conveyor belt that I just talked to you about. We can tip our trailers into this, and then this will load the potatoes up onto that other piece of machinery. Have it in black belt or yellow belt. And then we have the PS511. This is a drivable conveyor belt. It is designed to pick up potatoes off the ground, and then we have an extendable conveyor here that we can raise, lower, and extend. And the whole purpose of this is we can drive it around inside of the potato warehouse to collect potatoes, put them onto a conveyor belt, and then ultimately load them up either into the boxing apparatus, the crating apparatus, or put them onto a trailer and then haul off for sale. And that is all of the vehicles and implements, if you will, that is part of the Grimme Pack. We also have the potato haul, which is going to be found under sheds. It is $195,000, and this thing is utterly massive. See it right here. It does freely rotate 360 degrees on center. And we already have it placed down here, so let's go ahead and kind of take a look at it inside. We have the ability to enter through the people door, or we can enter the front large roll down door. But in order to do that, we have to come over here to the side buttons, left click to open the door, or left click to shut the door. And you're going to notice that we have lights inside of this potato warehouse. These lights are manually controlled, but you have to use this box over here on the side of the outside of the building. Left click to turn the lights on. And now the lights are inside the building. In addition to that, we have these cooling tunnels, these aeration tunnels that have been set up for the potatoes. And I was just going to show you how we take those down. We're going to walk up to each tunnel. We're going to left click. And you're going to see that they are going to stack over to the side. We're just going to go ahead and do that on all of these. And when you first place the potato warehouse, this is how you're going to find it, with these tunnels stacked off to the side. And what you can do is you can walk up to these tunnels, and you see now we have left click to place left potato aeration tunnel. So we're going to click the button, and now we are basically placing that aeration tunnel. Now we walk up, we have place center potato aeration tunnel, and then we have place right aeration tunnel. So that's how we can place the aeration tunnels or remove the aeration tunnels later, should we so wish. And now that we've kind of run down what's all included as far as in the shop, let's go demonstrate all of that. So here we have the GL32E. This is the small potato planter. We're just going to go ahead and lower this down. There is no turning it on. It simply operates by momentum. As we drive, the wheels are going to operate the planter. So we are planting our potatoes. Really cool animations with the little potatoes going up and down the belt there into the planting mechanism. And then we have the GL32F. 32F is the one that also allows you to fertilize, and we do have fertilizer already in this. 500 seeds or 500 potatoes in each, and then we have 300 liters worth of solid fertilizer in this one. You can lower it. Again, there is no turning it on or off. It's just, if we are moving, it is operating. So you definitely want to raise this up if you are not wanting to plant your potatoes in the ground. Just like that. Pretty straightforward. Now that you have potatoes in the ground, you're going to want to weed your potatoes, and we have 3 different weeding options included with this pack. We have the small weeder, the GH2, and we are using a tractor with narrow tires here. So we're going to lower this down and then just pull through here. And we are basically weeding through the field. Then we have the larger GH4. Again, we're going to pull through here and weed our crop. Then we have the much larger. This is GH8. We're going to unfold this. And these weeders are going to work with small and medium size weeds. Now on this demo field, I had set it up with medium weeds. I don't know why the weeds are basically withered at this point, because I had set these up with medium weeds, but at any rate, you kind of get the point. And once your potatoes are ready to harvest, we're going to use the potato diggers to do that harvest. So let me show you how that's going to work. Here we have the WH200. Pretty straightforward here. Just going to line it up. We're going to lower it down. We're going to turn it on. And there we go. We are harvesting our potatoes. Leaving our potatoes in a windrow. A really cool animation of the potatoes coming up over the belts, dirt basically sifting through. And you will want to make sure you use a tractor with narrow tires so you are not damaging your crop as you are driving ahead of your potato digger. And then we have the 200S. This one has side discharge. And And I've configured it with a left discharge. So you see how that operates. We have our dirt animations. Our potatoes are changing direction and then being deposited onto the ground. Now, is this for someone that has a massive field of potatoes? Probably not. But what this is for someone who is maybe doing smaller scale potato farming for their pigs and just really doesn't need to have a $600,000 investment in the massive potato harvester. And then we have the WR200 CDV. Now this one I think has a little bit of an issue with it upon initial release. That is that it doesn't track straight. It's kind of skewed off to the side. Can you see how it's skewed off to the side there? If we look at our tire tracks, we have our tire tracks. We have for tire tracks for a tire, for our tractor, and then we have our tire tracks for the planter. It's just skewed ever so slightly to the left. I've tried this on different tractors, and it still seems to be skewed to the left. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. This one we're going to hit X to unfold. Then we are going to lower it and turn it on. Then it deposits our potatoes in a windrow, just like the other two did. And now that we have our potatoes in our windrow, we're going to need to use the SE8555 to collect those. What we're going to do is we're going to unfold this. X to unfold. We're going to then lower the pickup, V to lower the pickup, B to turn it on. And then we have our little kind of pickup fingers there. And we're just going to run along our row of potatoes on the ground. We're going to then pick those up. They're really cool animations as we collect those potatoes, sort through them, clean them. And then store them in our hopper. Just like that. Then once we have our hopper full, we're going to pipe out with O. And then we're going to come along and unload our potatoes into our potato trailer. This will hold 6,800 liters worth of potatoes. And then once we get those emptied, we're going to go ahead and drive this up to our potato warehouse, where we are now going to work on processing these potatoes. Now, I've already set one up, but I thought I wanted to show you on how you're intended to transport the crate creator, the crater, if you will, the Grimme GBF As I said, this is intended to put potatoes into crates. So you're going to use the fork holes down there to move it around either with a skid steer, front loader, or telehandler. You're going to do that also with this belt hopper also. And I've already pre-placed these. I've also unfolded the GBF, so let's see how you do that. You're going to walk up to the front. The front is the one with the panel here. We're going to hit E to enter. We're going to hit X to unfold. And there's a little bit of a time frame for this to unfold. And that is our unfold animation. We're going to hit X again to fold it back up when we're done. And that's how we do that. So we've got our palletizer set up. We do have to enable pallet creation. Let's jump back in this one and show you. F1, we have B to enable or disable pallet creation. I've already set this one up to enable pallet creation. I've got the belt here. I've got our trailer already set up. I'm just going to unload into the hopper. And now we are basically creating 1,790 liter crates worth of potatoes. Move this out of the way. We come in with our skid steer then and pick up our crates of potatoes. We can store these crates of potatoes in the potato warehouse. We could also just tip raw potatoes into the potato warehouse. I suppose I should have tested to make sure my skid steer had enough junk in the truck, so to speak, to move our pallets. But you get the gist of how that all works. And then we have the last thing we're going to demonstrate is the the PS 511, the drivable conveyor belt. So we're just going to jump in that. We have our ability to drive around, forward, reverse, left and right, just like we would drive anything else. Left mouse button to extend the belt, left mouse button up and down, right mouse button left and right to raise and lower it. And then we'll turn the belt on. And at that point we could go around and pick up any potatoes that were loose on the ground, let's say within our potato haul, and put them onto a conveyor belt to then ultimately load them onto our pallet creator, or load them onto another belt that would eventually put them onto a trailer for transport for either sorting, pallet creation, or whatever. So guys, let me know what you all think down in the comments below for the Grimme Pack. I really like it, and I'm really glad it came out, because this allows you, as I said, to get into potatoes small. I mean, a $600,000 harvester investment, a $200,000 trailed harvester investment, a $50,000 planter investment is a pretty big investment to get into potatoes for either pigs, or maybe you just want to do potatoes. This is going to allow you to get in fairly cheap with respect to planting those potatoes, $18,800. You're going to be able to weed the potatoes pretty darn cheap, $12,000 for a 2.5 meter weeder. And then you're going to be able to harvest your potatoes pretty cheap, $12,500. You're going to be able to pick those potatoes up, $88,500. You're going to be able to store them in anything really you want. Potato warehouse, other shed, just on the ground. You're going to be able to palletize them for $6,500 and $1,500 at a minimum. You've got some really cool trailers that will work for all your other crops and other fill types, as well as potatoes, also included in the pack. As I said, let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, happy farming.